Hello, and welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. It is me, Geeky Sparkles, and it's just me today because Kneon has caught my sickness. So we're going to talk about the WGA and the WGA staff union today. So while the WGA is getting ready to go to AMP-TIP and demand the moon for their next contract, they still have not resolved their contract dispute with their staff inside the WGA. It's very confusing to follow. So they're out there, we're already making plans about asking for better health coverage and protections against AI and what money they want. And they're like, well, the streamers and stuff have the money to cover it. While they're out there demanding this for their own people, the staff union within there hasn't even got one contract. See, they formed a union late last year. It was like September or something like that when it got, recognized. And they're supposed to work with them then to make a first contract. They have not reached an agreement for first contract, but they're already planning on what they're going to demand out of the people they want a contract from. It's a bad look. So before we get into it, please like and subscribe. If you do, you'll get a woohoo. Woohoo. Also, please go and check out the Kickstarter if you haven't done so already for the Geeky Sparkle Angry Geeky Pin. People are asking for it, so we put it up. You have a few days to do that. I think Neon's going to leave it up for a little bit after those 4 days, but this is the initial run. Back to what we're talking about. So the WGA aims to turn focus to strike while staff remains on strike. It's so hard to follow. You need like a flow chart of BS to follow this. So WGA is gearing up to go to AMP-TIP and demand the moon for themselves while their staff is still waiting and saying that they are not working in good faith with them. They're basically saying, here, they said those talks for their contract begin in September. After staff voted overwhelmingly to join the union. And last month, more than 80% of the staff voted authorize a strike because they weren't getting an agreement. They cited concerns over wages, benefits, and protections, especially in the face of rising costs of living in Southern California. Okay, so they're claiming the WGA isn't negotiating in good faith, okay? Which is what the WGA and SAG-AFTRA and stuff claimed AMP-TIP was doing in 2023. And because they went on strike in 2023, some of the demands were absolutely ridiculous. They now are facing a deficit in their health care and in what they have in their reserves. So they want, AMP-TIP and them to give them more money to build back up their reserves because they used it on people when they were on strike or when they were laid off or something. You can get points apparently, and they were using it for that. So now they're going to demand that AMP-TIP and them pay more per show, more per different things so they can build up their reserves. Meanwhile, their staff union hasn't even had one contract yet. Now, WGA West is in this dispute with their staff union. WGA East already made an agreement with theirs, okay, because they're completely different unions. They're represented by different places. I think it's like the Huffington Post, something like that over there in East, and this is a different one. So it's a big mess. But it looks even worse for them because, they're demanding this, and it says, they're going to turn their focus onto insurance and what they want and all these things. And they're going on here about they want a fair deal and they want, let me get down here. They're talking about how they lost, $122 million in 2 years, according to tax returns, because of declining contributions and downturn in employment, meaning the contraction of Hollywood, and increase in healthcare costs because, we told you this was going to happen. When you're demanding ridiculous things, some of the demands were fair. Other ones were ridiculous, and you refused to settle. This was going to happen. And do I think that studios deliberately, stalled it out so that they could cancel things? Probably, if we're being fair, probably. But you guys allowed them to do it in the first place. But I will give the credit for WGA members in one regard. They're actually showing up for the staffers. The writers are coming out to support the staffers. They said they wouldn't have survived 2023 without them. So WGA is looking really bad. Not only are they going to start wanting to do things and demand the moon for their contract, they're not honoring the bargaining agreement to try to go and make a fair contract for their staff union, according to the staff union. But the writers must think the staff union's in the right because they're showing up. They said that The staffers do so many foundational things. They process our residuals. They process late pay claims. They do a lot of things writers don't want to do so we can focus on our work. We want them to be treated fairly by our own union. The WGA West Captain Joe Russo was about 120 people on the picket line. The negotiating committee for the staff union set to resume contract talks on Tuesday evening because they keep threatening that if they don't get an agreement out of them, they're going to cancel the award show that's supposed to be, or the award ceremony that's supposed to be on the 8th, I think, or this week. Maybe it's whatever it is this weekend. There's going to be an award ceremony, and they're saying basically we're going to cancel that if you guys don't come up with a good deal, because no one's going to cross that picket line. And they're going to negotiate again on Tuesday. I'm hoping they get something in there because it's a really bad look for them to be going and asking amp tip for the moon when you aren't even, being fair by your own people. Okay. They said there's a grassroots support from writers, and they staff hope that the guild leadership would go beyond surface level bargaining for over the past 6 months, but they haven't. The WGA members think the staff are asking for fair things. They're even saying what they're asking for is fair. Here, right here. What they're asking for is perfectly reasonable. And the fact that our own union refuses to give them this sends the wrong message right as we're about to begin talks with the amp tip. Yes, that's exactly correct. We need our union to practice what it preaches. Hell yeah. That's what you need to do. And so different writers are showing up, and sitting there supporting these people, which I think I'm going to give them credit for that. Like, I'm going to give you total credit for that. You're not just, demanding for yourselves and only caring about yourselves. You're standing up for other people that you think are being treated unfairly within your organization. And I'll give you credit for that. So, they said the different big celebrities and things were showing up. We look here on this article, they talked about it. They said, that there were different high-profile people are showing up. TV writers who usually drive Hollywood's labor fight. Several well-known writers joined the staff picketers, bringing visibility to industry's attention to the union demands. This sucks, one writer said, expressing frustration with the situation, but solidarity with staff members. Writers note the staff do much behind the scenes that keep the guild operating smoothly. Writers also carried sidewalks with staff, chanting in support of fair contract. Your own members are siding with the staff union. Okay, this does not look good. It does not look good at all, especially like, as I said, you're going to be going into amp tip and you're going to be wanting all these things, and all they're going to see is they're going to leverage it. I guarantee it. Why should we give you these improvements for you when you aren't even helping your staff union? Now, do I think it's hypocritical of, amp tip to do that? Yeah, if they do it, but I think they would probably use that as maybe a bargaining chip if they had to. Probably. It gets cutthroat, man. I'm not going to lie. But it's just to me mind-boggling that you recognize a union, but you make no effort, according to the staff union, to do a good faith, and according to your writers too, to do a good faith first contract, while you're gearing up to go demand more from everybody else for yourselves. And even the people that you represent think you're full of shit. I mean, not a good look, WGA. It wasn't a good look last time when you were demanding minimum writers' rooms and things. But I mean, the fact that your own members think you're full of shit and are going out there and standing with the staff union because they don't think it's right. It's just, you look bad. You look very, very bad. I think that you should, come back to the table, give them some of what they want, work out some kind of, compromise, get it signed. Because one, you're going to need these people. If you're moving forward with, the strike, these people still need to be working for you, because if you're busy with that, some of these people probably work on that kind of stuff. And if you're busy with that, who else is going to do the other work that needs done for the writers? And they're probably looking at that too. Like, if we go to strike and we need support and we need paid and we need our residuals, are we going to get those when you're not even paying the staff people that handle that stuff fairly? You're not negotiating with them fairly, and they're on strike. I mean, you're literally rotting from the inside out at this point in time. Now would be a really fucking good time to pull your heads out of your asses and get it figured out. Because if you do another 2023 at the end of the day between all these, contracts, then I don't think people are going to be very happy with you. So, please like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.